All right, time to get into all, at least some of the juicy details for this week and everything. So, there are three things this week I'm going to get into. Is I'm going to have first and foremost be talking about an article I came across about getting into the sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. So it does look like Hasbro is going to be moving forward with the sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. Now, of course, that's been a huge success and everything, and it won multiple awards. Now it does look like they are going to be moving forward even without Larian Studios. So, but the article I did come across and everything, it stated that it doesn't look like they're going to be rushing it. They're not just like, oh, let's build it now. Yeah, we got to do it now because they're like, oh, wait, hold on. We had such success with this, so we kind of want to take our time and everything. So it doesn't look like it's necessarily going to be out right away and everything, and which it would be a good thing because if they did rush it, it would probably be like a huge disappointment because the expectations are so high coming off such a successful game. If you rush something, chances are you pretty much fall flat in your face and everything. And so, of course, they don't also want to take too long because if you remember, Baldur's Gate 2 and the expansions came way back out in 99 2000 or so. They don't necessarily want to wait like another 25 years or so to for the next Baldur's Gate to come out and everything. So, but like I said, it does look like that Hasbro is going to be moving forward with the sequel to Baldur's Gate 3, but they're not going to rush it because, again, like I said, it seems that they know they have a hit on their hands and they don't want to fumble the ball. At least with this one, even of course, I'm sure people remember them fumbling the ball with the OGL scandal, and then plus the layoff last December, and of course the whole fiasco with the Eve Vecna Eve of Ruin pre-release that apparently some people didn't get and everything. So, but it seems like at least in this regard, Hasbro is oh, we want to get this right and everything. So it's you kind of have to give them credit for at least this and everything, even though on the other hand, it's like, yeah, they've been screwing up a lot on these other side and everything. So we'll have to wait and see where this develops. And of course, it's still kind of like in in a sense, early stages because it's kind of like, well, still up in the air. We kind of want it to happen, but we don't want it to happen too soon or too late and type of deal. So, but like I said, it definitely does seem like it's at least on their radar to make a sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I'm not too big at computer games and everything, so I have yet to get into Baldur's Gate 3 myself. And so, it's more due of a lack of time than anything else to have gotten into it and everything. But, I have seen clips and stuff of the game, and the game definitely looks great. And I do hope that they do take their time and do their due diligence to make the sequel even better than this current game. So now, another now time to get into the second thing I came across within last week. So that's kind of shifting gears to another computer game. Now we're kind of stepping into the realm of sci-fi with BattleTech. Now, for those who aren't familiar with BattleTech, its concept is in a sense, you're a pilot of these 30 feet tall, walking mechs or tanks or whatever. So they're 20 to 100 ton walking tanks basically. That and it's set in the 31st century. So what you are it started off as a board game where you had the little miniatures of these in a sense giant robots or a giant mechs that you pilot and you use it as a board game. And of course it also grew into a role playing game. There's a card game out and everything, and of course they've released a bunch uh, of computer games. So the BattleTech universe takes place in the 31st century. So pretty much a thousand years in the future. And so the BattleTech universe, humanity has expanded into the pretty much across, in a sense, the galaxy, and there's the universe is what's known as the inner sphere, which is 100 light year breadth, like in the whole what's known as the inner sphere, where we've now moved out into a space and that, and so yeah, we've developed faster than light technology, we to be able to expand to the stars and stuff, and so warfare in a sense has evolved to pilot to the point where we pilot people pilot those 30 feet tall walking robots, or as they're called, mechs, and so it's all about you doing a battle with mechs, and with either light mechs or heavy mechs, or and they range from 20 tons all the way up to 100 tons, and so some of the history that sets up the stage for the 31st century of BattleTech is there's what was known as the Star League, which united all of humanity under one banner, and that was in the 28th century. But of course, things went to shit, and you had the rival houses. You see, in a sense, with the rival houses, you had feudalism come up again. Of course, these houses would expand, control vast amounts of space and different solar systems and stuff, and so you had these different houses, and they started butting heads under what was the unifying banner called the Star League. That fell by the wayside. Some of the characters in the Star League, they fled the inner sphere and were able to disappear, because they could see okay, well, things are going to go downhill, and people are going to start fighting over our mess, and this mess that's happening, because it was you can get into the BattleTech universe and get much more in depth than I could here, but you could see how in the 28th century how things started to deteriorate and lead to what were known as the succession wars between these rival houses and everything, and that sets the stage for the people that were part of the Star League, which had unified human race. A lot of the people in the military, especially one of if not the top general, took a lot of the people from the military and fled the inner sphere and disappeared. So while these houses were kind of in a sense battling in these wars called the Succession Wars over the next several hundred years, the Star League Defense Force, or whatever, the military that had disappeared, went out into unknown regions of the in a sense the galaxy, and started up what were known as the clans, and so it set the stage for what this new game called Mech Warrior 5. That's the game that's the computer game. This is Mech Warrior, and so I played Mech Warrior 2. So this new one called Mech Warrior 5 Clans, it takes the shine of those people that left, and it focuses in on them and their return into this inner sphere in the year 3050. So you can see, like I said, we're 1,000 years in the future. So if this game focuses on them and what is known as the clan invasion, and there are a bunch of books and everything that are also written about BattleTech and everything that kind of tell the story of leading up to the clan invasion, the clan invasion, and the aftermath. And all the books and stuff do take us from the year, roughly the year 3050 to 100 years in the future, and that, so up to the 3120s or so. So this computer game, Mech Warrior 5, takes place around that clan invasion of 3050, and it focuses on those clans and their march towards trying to reconquer the inner sphere and bring back the Star League that had united the whole humanity under one banner. So this is a new computer game that's coming out very recently, if it isn't out already and everything. So that's another thing I was going to touch upon, is a whole brand new universe that I really haven't touched upon in here. So here's kind of a mention to that. And so the third and final thing I'm going to talk about is about HeroQuest. I've probably mentioned it here, but I'm going to reiterate this or talk about it new, that the new expansion for HeroQuest, the Jungles of Delthrax, has been announced, and the cover art and everything, and the whole box is revealed, and hey, look, this is it coming out, and it's in the pipeline. It's pretty much, we're just waiting for the release date in August or September, and depending on where you're at in the world. So that's the newest expansion that's going to be coming out, and it looks fantastic. So another part of that is apparently there's artwork and stuff and ideas that have come out since then, in the last week or so, about Hero Quest First Light, and of course, like the artwork for that has been released, and of course, uh, I've watched the video on that about like how quite possibly the artwork is AI generated. I'm still kind of up on the fence on whether I like the concept of AI art or not, because like I mean I kind of want to side on like the artist and side, so that way they can still make a living and everything. So I'm going to tend to focus be more on that side, because it does seem that like this artwork for this First Light concept that came out, it does seem the artwork is AI generated. So I'm still kind of like I think it's too up in the air and too early on right now to really tell one way or another. So that's I think why I'm still on the fence, kind of like I don't have enough information to really make an informed decision about it. So I'm kind of like I don't have like feelings one way or another. Even though, like I said, I would tend to probably fall more on the side of supporting artists themselves and everything. So that's the next thing that's coming, like that looks like it's going to be coming out like with First Light. Now it does seem to be like based on either like a relaunch of the base game, or like you could possibly be a prequel to it. So it's another thing that is it looks like that's in the works, if not already being on the docket to be released for Hero Quest. So it definitely like it's an exciting time for like board games, especially for like Hero Quest. And I played Hero Quest as a kid, and like what I like about the Hero Quest board game now is the big thing is like the the board and the miniatures itself. Like if you look at like that alone, it's more than worth its weight in gold, in the sense like with the price tag on all the original game plus all the expansions. If you look at like you get the board plus like the furniture plus like all the tiles and stuff that you can use plus the miniatures, you can use all that stuff, bring it into the TTRPGs and stuff. So for like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, what you can do is take the furniture, take the miniatures, and use it in those games as well. So like with how expensive miniatures can get, because like a lot of times in uh, the local gaming store that I go to, you can get like a single like hero miniature for like $5, or you can get like maybe two named villains or two named heroes or something for like $10-15, or like you can get like a giant like an air elemental or like a giant troll or something for like $20-30. You can get like hobgoblin or like kobold or orc warbands for like $45-50. So like if you're looking at like wanting to get miniatures, board games like Hero Quest are great in that regard. Plus, what's great about Hero Quest, it also yes, it doubles as a board game itself, and you can do it unto itself. But where it shines is like if you don't want to necessarily play Hero Quest as a board game, what it does is like it gives you the miniatures, the furniture. It gives you a board that you can use as like maybe a singular dungeon delve. Plus, if you use the quest books, it can give you ideas for campaign ideas as a DM and everything, and you can, in a sense, create like a campaign based off the Hero Quest board game and everything. So that's like a kind of the added bonus of board games, is that you can bring it into a TTRPG like the D&D and Pathfinder and everything. So that's like just yet another thing about the D&D that I was bringing to light, is like the Jungles of Delthrax expansion is out. It's coming out, and it's slated to August, September, depending on where in the world you're at. And plus, like the First Light for Hero Quest is like in a sense that you've seen artwork out there for it, and so like and it is AI generated, so it does, or at least it does seem that way. So like I'll leave like the debate for other people, because like me, I'm still kind of like I'd have to look more into it to be able to have an informed decision, even though as of right now my initial thoughts are like I'm going to side with the actual artists themselves, and I kind of like, well, I kind of want to hold off on AI art itself. But like I said, I'm going to have to, for something like that, I'd have to get delve into and get more information on that, so I can have like make an informed decision and be able to talk about and articulate it better, instead of just me kind of like well, this is my initial, be like I am now with my initial thoughts and my initial like viewpoint and everything. So as more information with that stuff comes out and as time passes, I'm sure I'm probably going to change my viewpoint one way or the other.